1. In designing an e-skill assessment test for workplace training, which principle of adult learning is most critical to ensure engagement? A. Memorization through repetition. B. Providing immediate relevance to job tasks. C. Requiring strict adherence to standardized formats. D. Using complex theoretical models. 2. When evaluating the validity of an e-skill assessment test, which method best ensures accurate measurement of desired skills? A. Face validity checks. B. Criterion-referenced comparison. C. Peer feedback from learners. D. Frequency of test updates. 3. A trainer creates an e-skill assessment test that aligns with organizational compliance policies. This demonstrates the integration of A. Mentoring techniques. B. Regulatory requirements. C. Communication models. D. Motivation theory. 4. Which adult learning theory best supports the design of scenario-based questions in an e-skill assessment test? A. Behaviorism. B. Experiential learning. C. Structuralism. D. Classical conditioning. 5. When developing an e-skill assessment test, which evaluation method ensures continuous improvement? A. One-time pilot testing. B. Ongoing formative assessments. C. Summative-only evaluations. D. Learner self-reporting only. 6. Which mentoring approach is most effective when guiding new employees through e-skill assessment preparation? A. Providing unstructured advice. B. Encouraging self-directed practice with feedback. C. Assigning rote memorization tasks. D. Limiting access to resources. 7. A facilitator reviews e-skill assessment results to identify skill gaps for curriculum updates. This process reflects A. Curriculum development cycle. B. Regulatory compliance checks. C. Summative evaluation only. D. Randomized testing methods. 8. Which communication technique enhances clarity when providing feedback after an e-skill assessment test? A. Using jargon to sound authoritative. B. Providing specific actionable examples. C. Offering only positive comments. D. Avoiding details to save time. 9. In ensuring regulatory compliance of an e-skill assessment test, which factor is most important? A. Alignment with job descriptions and standards. E. Learner preference for question formats. C. Length of the assessment. D. Amount of multimedia included. 10. Which evaluation model best measures the impact of e-skill assessments on workplace performance? A. Kirkpatrick's 4 levels. B. Bloom's taxonomy. C. ADDIE model. D. Maslow's hierarchy. 11. When constructing MCQs for an e-skill assessment test, what should be avoided to maintain fairness? A. Using clear, concise language. B. Incorporating real-life job scenarios. C. Embedding cultural bias in distractors. D. Randomizing answer options. 12. A mentor supports a learner struggling with e-skill practice tests by encouraging reflection on errors. This aligns with A. Constructivist learning principles. B. Operant conditioning. C. Linear teaching models. D. Traditional, rote learning. 13. Which curriculum development step ensures e-skill assessment content stays aligned with evolving industry standards? A. Initial needs analysis. B. Continuous curriculum review. C. Final program evaluation only. D. Random content addition. 14. A test taker claims that questions were unrelated to their job role. This issue reflects a weakness in A. Content validity. B. Predictive reliability. C. Formative evaluation. D. Mentoring strategies. 15. Which communication strategy is best for reducing test anxiety in adult learners before an e-skill assessment? A. Emphasizing punitive consequences. B. Providing transparent instructions and objectives. C. Avoiding practice opportunities. D. Offering only written guidelines. 16. When an organization customizes e-skill assessments for compliance audits, what is the primary benefit? A. Increasing test difficulty. B. Meeting legal and regulatory obligations. C. Promoting creativity. D. Encouraging informal mentoring. 17. A facilitator wants to track learner progress during practice e-skill assessments. Which method is most effective? A. Summative testing only at the end. B. Continuous formative assessments with feedback. C. Ignoring progress until final results. D. Peer mentoring without structured tools. 18. Which principle of adult learning suggests that test takers learn best when they can apply knowledge immediately? A. Readiness to learn. B. Transfer of learning. C. Classical conditioning. D. Cognitive dissonance. 19. In curriculum development for e-skill assessments, which step ensures objectives are measurable? A. Writing learning outcomes using action verbs. B. Collecting broad learner preferences. C. Using general descriptive goals. D. Avoiding alignment with assessments. 20. A mentor ensures a test taker understands both correct and incorrect answers on practice tests. This strategy enhances A. Surface memorization. B. Deep learning. C. Compliance monitoring. D. Test item difficulty. 21. What role does evaluation play in the continuous cycle of e-skill curriculum design? A. Provides irrelevant feedback. B. Informs future instructional improvements. C. Ensures content remains unchanged. D. Replaces learner motivation. 22. Which communication approach ensures inclusivity in delivering e-skill assessment instructions? A. Using plain, accessible language. B. Using technical jargon extensively. C. Providing instructions only verbally. D. Offering no clarification. 23. When validating e-skill assessment test reliability, which measure is most appropriate? A. Test-retest consistency. B. Cultural relevance. C. Learner satisfaction. D. Question length. 24. A regulatory body requests evidence that e-skill assessments are job-related. The trainer must provide A. Predictive validity data. B. Test taker feedback forms. C. Randomized test results. D. Summative-only reports. 25. In mentoring learners for e-skill success, which technique is most effective? A. Modeling best practices and guiding reflection. B. Assigning generic resources. C. Limiting feedback to final scores. D. Encouraging learners to work alone. 26. An e-skill assessment test shows consistent results, but fails to measure the intended skill. This reflects A. High reliability, low validity. B. High validity, low reliability. C. Both high validity and reliability. D. Neither validity nor reliability. 27. Which evaluation tool provides the most actionable insights for updating e-skill assessments? A. Formative assessments and feedback loops. B. Final score reports only. C. Generic learner surveys. D. Anecdotal evidence. 28. When developing assessments, why is regulatory compliance critical? A. Ensures fairness and legal defensibility. B. Simplifies test construction. C. Reduces test difficulty. D. Focuses solely on learner preferences. 29. Which adult learning strategy is most effective in self-paced e-skill practice modules? A. Immediate feedback on responses. B. Delayed grading with no explanations. C. Fixed pacing for all learners. D. Passive observation without interaction. 30. A mentor asks a learner to explain their reasoning behind each answer choice. This mentoring approach fosters A. Critical thinking and self-awareness. B. Rote memorization. C. Dependence on mentor feedback. D. Compliance-only learning. 31. In communication strategies, what is the most effective way to explain complex test instructions to diverse learners? A. Break instructions into smaller, clear steps. B. Use one lengthy explanation. C. Provide no visual aids. D. Avoid answering questions. 32. Which evaluation model places emphasis on determining if e-skill learning improved workplace results? A. Kirkpatrick's Level 4 Results. B. Bloom's Knowledge Level. C. Gagnet's 9 Events. D. Maslow's Self-Actualization. 33. In aligning curriculum development with e-skill assessments, what is the key advantage of backward design? A. Objectives guide assessment creation. B. Assessments are designed without goals. C. Learners dictate content completely. D. Compliance requirements are ignored.